The following Conscious Consumer Network recording of a live broadcast is available to purchase in high definition at ethymarket.com. Support free and independent media by becoming a CCN pledger. For €10 a month, you can have unlimited access to CCN high definition downloads at ethymarket.com. Ethymarket, the ethical marketplace for conscious consumers.
This is For the Love of Learning, Voices of the Alternative Education Movement. Be inspired by the voices of visionaries, changemakers, and ordinary, extraordinary people who do what they do, all for the love of learning. Hi, I'm Miro. I'm 15 years old and I'm the co-founder of Project World School. World Schooling is all about learning from the world around you and letting it influence and inspire your interests in a natural way. Through World Schooling, you might find passion in a subject you never would have known about because of the full-on cultural immersion that it brings. World Schooling lets me see people's points of view by showing me their way of life, and by letting me witness life in their perspective. World Schooling has taught me empathy through meeting people of all walks of life, all ages and backgrounds, and connecting with them. It's helped me break down the barrier and feel for people as a whole. My favorite aspect is the friendship that it creates. Experiencing cultural activities is great, but even more so with your peers. And I find that the friendship lasts longer than the time spent together. I feel like it's impacted me greatly by letting me meet my peers and evolve together. But above all else, it has left me with a clear worldview. Change, eye-opening experiences, a ton of learning, and a whole lot of fun. In one word, I would say exciting. Without support from your peers, the experience can be a bit jarring, but it's the best way to grow, and with the support of friends, I'd say it's quite rewarding. To me, community is a group of people who support and learn from each other without passing any judgment. I think community is one of the most important aspects of life, for growth, personal, and as a whole.
That's fun, right?
I am mostly grateful for the freedom that World Schooling provides me in my interests, and that I'm empowered to make my own decisions, and that through World Schooling, I am able to experience things I could have never imagined. I hope that participants of Project World School retreats can feel this too. Buy your tickets, pack light, and bring your open mind. See you there.
Hi, this is For the Love of Learning, Voices of the Alternative Education Movement. I'm Lady Liberty, and this is episode number 16, and we're coming to you live tonight from Ecuador, and I'm sitting next to my son, Miro, and behind me we've got a group of teenagers that are here for the Project World School teen learning community that we've all been participating in. And so we thought tonight would be a great opportunity to come to you live and hear from the voices of the participants so they can tell you what they're experiencing during a Project World School experience and creating a community. So Miro, we've been spending the last almost 2 weeks with this group. Tell me, are you having a good time?
I'm having such a great time.
Just got back, all of us have had really, really busy days. And we just got back maybe 2 hours ago from a really long day on the beach. We did a hike, and everybody's feeling the effects of the sun. So if we're a little... Before we get into the activities, we want to give the opportunity to everybody to introduce themselves. So we've got a great group here, and Miro and I are going to sort of move seats, and everybody's going to pop in and tell you who they are, how old they are, and what kind of education style that they normally practice at home, and also where they're from. So pop on in, you guys. Okay. Pop on up. Hello.
I'm Katie. I'm 17. I'm from Northern California, and I unschool, and it's
Clear your throat before you talk.
My name is Ian. I am 16, and I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm an unschooler.
Yeah!
My name is Dylan, and I'm 16, and I'm a world schooler, and I live in Hawaii.
Awesome!
Your turn.
Hi, I'm David. I'm 16, about to be 17, and I'm from Texas, and I am an unschooler.
Okay.
I'm Jarek. I'm from Southern California, 17, unschooler.
My name is Oliver. I am 16, and I am a homeschooler.
I'm Wiley. I'm also from Boston. I'm 16, and this is my second retreat with Project World School, and I guess I'm what you would call an eclectic homeschooler.
And Charlotte, hop on in and introduce yourself. And Loren?
hello. I'm Charlotte. I'm from Berlin, Germany, and I'm the volunteer here with the project.
Hi. I'm Lorraine. I'm French from Paris, more or less, living in Lima, and I'm helping Lenny with Project World School.
For 3 years now. This is your 3rd year. So Miro, let's pop back on up. This particular project is based surrounding marine biology. And each place in the world has a very unique opportunity to learn from the culture and immersively to learn from the people around us and from the traditions of the people as well. What were some of the things that you were excited about sharing with this group, Miro?
I was very excited about all of the marine biology aspects, and I was also very excited about the socioeconomic aspect as well, learning about how people here sustain themselves and how the industry has changed in the past years.
Yeah, this is a real change from somebody who lives in the United States and is coming to a developing nation for the first time, there's tremendous differences in the way that both countries live. And I was wondering if anybody wants to talk about what their impressions are, both from a cultural perspective and also from the perspective of the biology that we've been diving deep into. So, anybody want to tap in?
I could.
Come on in.
Well, in regards to the socioeconomic standpoint, it's really amazing seeing how the culture and all of the occupations here are tied so closely together. For example, all the fishing villages, and just seeing all the people who have been doing this for generations, and it's because it's the one thing that they can do to support themselves, their culture, and their families, and it's really interesting to see and learn about.
And then on the other side, we were dealing with the conservation and the rescue, and some of those worldviews actually contrast with one another. And in terms of gaining a broader perspective, how has the experiences that we've had so far been able to build a different point of view?
Well, in regards to the conservation efforts, a few days ago, we toured a local aquarium that all the exhibits are animals that have been rescued that are otherwise unfit to live in the natural environment, like they're injured or other things are wrong with them. And seeing the conditions that they were kept in, because such conservation efforts are so terribly underfunded down here, and just it gives you a perspective, and it's like people down here are trying to preserve what they know and the things that are here, but can't because just a lack of funds, and it's kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's true. That's really true. Anybody else have anything to add about, you know, kind of the basic marine biology stuff before we get into like the team building and any of that other stuff?
Well,
go ahead.
Okay. It's just a small point I wanted to make, but no matter how much money you have, everyone cares about animals worldwide.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's literally all I had to say. So.
Anybody else have anything that they want to add about the marine biology aspects? Yeah, go ahead.
So, Ecuador, as a lot of people probably know, is one of the most biodiverse places on Earth, and we've really kind of learned that every microclimate and every little ecosystem is really connected here. For instance, we visited Isla de la Plata, which is kind of the poor man's Galapagos Islands, and we learned that the guano of the birds, like the frigate birds who live on the island, was washed out to the ocean by the infrequent rains and fed the coral reefs and fed the fish who lived under there. And I thought that was really interesting, how everything just kind of cycles around. It also brings up another point. If we don't put enough attention into conserving different parts of the environment and let one go, then the whole thing could tumble down. So that's definitely an interesting point.
And also, for those that may not know what guana is, you want to talk about that?
Guano is bird shit.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else want to talk about some of the things that we've been doing over the last week and a half or week? How long have we been here? A week? A week?
A
week.
7 days.
Exactly. 7 days. Okay.
It'll be 7 days tomorrow and 7 days today.
Awesome.
7 days. Wow. Today.
Anybody else?
It's Monday.
Jarek, you want to talk about some of the things that we've done?
Kill lots of mosquitoes.
So the way that we structure these retreats, where this is really focused around marine biology, and nobody here is opening up a book. This is all experiential learning. And what makes social learning so incredibly powerful is that we're doing it within a community. And one of the foundations of what we do at Project World School is build a strong community. And there are many different activities that we do together. We schedule our days around the community activities. So more or less breakfast together. We always have volunteers each day. Then we have our day, our day of immersion, which is usually something cultural, or it's something, in this case, centered around marine biology. We also had surf lessons. And then we tend to do team building activities. And then at night, everybody leads a session. So since we're here 12 nights, we have each participant leading their own session based on their own interests. And I would like now to jump over to the group and talk a little bit about the team building. Does anybody have any thoughts or ideas or impressions about the stuff that we've done to build such a strong team here? Come on in, Patty.
Lainey is brilliant. I'm very good at this. That's the first statement here. It's just very important that you know this.
It's true.
You get here and she greets you at your gate with a sign, like a big sign, a homemade sign, and it says, "Welcome to Ecuador, Ecuador." And they're screaming and yelling and saying, "Welcome, welcome, I love you, oh, we're so excited." Well, maybe not, I love you. They don't.
Oh, I love you. Wait,
I love you, I love you, woo! And then the first activity of the next day, because we got in at 11 at night, was team building. And it's like theater games and improv, and it makes you look like a total dork in front of all these people, and suddenly you just feel like a community. And it's so quick, and it's brilliant, and it's wonderful, and I feel so comfortable, and we're all good friends now. And it's great.
Yeah, please jump in.
Well, everything I have to add is like tiny. So
Jump, tiny. We love Ian.
So something I've noticed with the team building especially is that it's in every game, almost every game, it's always been eye contact. It's been like something that has been involved. So that's just something to say that how intimate it has been. Hopefully, will be in the future.
Can we get a demonstration?
Jump in.
Well, another thing about the social learning community, it's just like in normal retreats, like from what I've heard from other people, it's not so much centered around the individuals, the students. It's more centered around a teacher teaching students. But here, it's a group of individuals all seeking to learn with their own points of view and personalities, and it makes it a much richer experience.
Individuality is very tricky. Right.
It
is definitely not in some.
It is, and everybody's
also,
point
why
of
the fuck do you didn't have to get the bench?
I'm right here.
And another point that I would like to raise is that
Pop up, wait. Pop up here, Miro. They can't hear you.
Figurehead.
Another point here that I would like to raise is that here everybody is a teacher and everybody is a student alike. So we are all learning from each other and we are all teaching.
And you want to talk about the sessions?
Yes, the sessions are an hour-long activity led by one person each night. And it can be centered around pretty much anything. We have had dance parties from chess sessions to kazoo jam night.
And then we also had a debate.
Yeah, we had political debates.
And then last night we had a story writing session.
We had a horror writing session. So everything is very varied. Diverse.
And everybody, I want to jump in here. So like I said, one of the foundations of what we do is different than most people, the way that most people approach education. But we find through doing these retreats for many years that when people are connected with one another, people are having fun, people feel like they're heard, understood, and they have something to say. They have the ability to say what they think, whether it differs from the group or not, and they feel supported. The learning becomes deep. It's very, very profound. You don't have to force learning at that point. It's actually sort of a byproduct of the experience. I want to turn this question to the group. Have you guys had experience with social learning before? And if yes or no, jump up and give your answer.
Well, I can't speak for the group in the whole group. But me personally, I've been homeschooling since like 3rd or 4th grade, and I've been part of groups that were sort of focused on basically, like you said, the social learning and, you know, community, a learning community. And some work, some don't really work. But this one I think really is very unique, as in, like you said, there's the huge emphasis on individuality and basically doing your own thing. But through that, I feel it's a very strong sense of unity, because we're able to work together and function together, you know. Through, you know, the uniqueness and stuff like that, you get really a good, strong sense of camaraderie through social learning. And I think that really brings it back to that.
Before you leave, Oliver, what do you think about some of the questions that we reflect upon at the end of the night?
Oh, that's very interesting.
And how does that cement? Do you want to first explain what we do, and then maybe talk about how it cements or closes the day?
Yeah, at the end of each day, we have sort of a briefing, sort of, where we basically go over what happened during the day, and we talk about what happened, what we liked, what we didn't like, and we sort of ask each other questions or draw questions that are written down on cards. That here's one.
Hold it up so they can see.
What is your favorite swear word and why?
Oh, not that one.
Okay.
That's not the normal
That's not
one.
Okay. How did you quiet or overcome your own self-critical voice today? And there are a lot of sort of questions similar to that in that vein. What was magical today? Stuff like that. There are a few joke ones in there.
What makes you forget to eat and poop?
Yeah, there's that one
there
too.
There are a few joke ones. But
and also we talk about compassion a lot.
Oh yeah,
right?
compassion, yeah. And I think asking the questions, it sort of gives us the chance to sort of think back on, just think about the day, because there are a lot of times where you just go through a day and you wake up tomorrow and you just forget everything you did, and it really sort of cements what's happened, good or bad. And I think that sort of gives us a sense of unity and compassion.
Yeah, thank you, Oliver. Anybody else want to pop in and talk about circle? Pop on,
Well, not
jump
about
up.
circles specifically, but just talking about the social learning experience.
Okay, cool.
Until very recently, I've been in public school for the entirety of my life. I had been withdrawn from the school system at the end of my sophomore year. And going from that to this it's drastically different, because in school, you're just getting so much information probed into your head that you go to sleep, you forget it, and then the next day you're fatigued, you're bored out of your mind, and you just take it in, put it down on your test, and then it's gone. Whereas here, you might not be, say, learning as much, but the things that you learn here are things that will stick with you. And having the perspectives of other peers, other individuals, whose opinions are valued just as highly as yours, makes it a lot more of an experience that'll stick with you. And it's a much more profound and proper learning. I don't know if that's a good way to say it.
Learning is not significant if it doesn't stay with you, right?
Exactly.
So we add sticky. Sticky is a good word. Sticky's a good word.
Giggle.
Giggles are good too. Also, what about fun?
Oh my God.
There's a lot of that.
Oh, fun! Who wants to talk about fun?
Movie night.
Come on up, talk about it. Talk about it. Okay, you two pop in.
Every night here we've been doing a horror movie, and I don't know, just as a thing, we kind of came together as a team, mostly Oliver actually. He brought a projector and speakers. We've just kind of been setting up our own little movie theater in the middle of Ecuador. And it was initially just to annoy me, but it turns out it's been really fun, and we really enjoy, like, at the end of each day, just being able to sit down and watch a movie. So, despite the hours it cuts into our sleep time. So, yeah.
Hours and hours. It was pretty fun now. We found a kitten that's just hanging around, and it's chill. It's just going person to person to person while we're watching a horror movie.
What about the duck?
Oh.
You guys want to talk about the duck?
That duck is evil. Keep away.
Oh, the kitten's right here.
Her toes, my toes.
Yeah, the duck is great.
Yeah. Close. Not yet.
Oh, we need the duck right now. Okay. We need the duck to hold it.
Yeah, so we're looking for the duck.
Wiley, don't get the duck.
Wiley's the local duck wrangler.
All right, so I'm going to pop in for a second, yeah? Go ahead, Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
So, well, I'm not really a homeschooler or unschooler or whatever. To introduce myself a little more, in a gap year from university, because university made me, it drove me crazy with all that what David described. You learn a lot, and then you put it just there for a test, and then you learn again for the next test. And yeah, I was really interested in that project here, and I'm so glad that I'm here. And yeah, I didn't know what to expect here, and yeah, just overcame all my expectations I had. It's so, I don't feel like, I mean, I only know the experiences I have from school, and this is completely different. And I'm so glad for everyone here that you have the possibility to learn like this, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So this is the duck that attacked everyone.
Patito.
Yeah, it's just called patito, which just means little duck. I don't know.
So this is Patito.
Yep. He was kind of out of control before, but we've managed to tame him down to the point where he's willing to be held, at least by me. So I thought it was a she.
No, it's a he.
It's a he. Yeah.
Are you sure? How do you know?
I know it's a
I
he.
hear you explained it with the feathers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I didn't know that.
So can I pop in for a sec, you guys?
Oh.
So again, we were talking about how learning is totally fused with fun. I want to give you sort of an idea of what we've been doing and how one day builds upon the next and so forth. We started off in the water by all of us utilizing the water for fun by learning how to surf. We also engaged in team building and support because we shared boards and spotted one another, and that helped to build the community. What did we do the second day? What's day 2? Oh my goodness.
Day of service.
Yeah, they did a day of service. So that's one of the requirements of our retreats, that when we come to visit a country, we must, as a group, respect and give back, contribute, thank you, to the country that's hosting us. And so we did a day of service. We did a book drive for one of the local schools in an area called Puerto Lopez. And as a group, we decided that we were going to do a puppet show. So we have 4 Spanish speakers in our group, and the rest did not know Spanish. So they became the puppet show, the puppet masters. And we had Ian. And we did the story. They were awesome. And we did the story of Little Red Riding Hood in Spanish. And so each person got into a character, and then we had a blanket, and we had the puppet show going behind. And we did this puppet show twice. We did it once for a group of 45 6-year-olds. And then the second time we did it at a school program. And we also helped them make hand puppets, with cutout paper and popsicle sticks and stuff like that. And so that was our way of giving back, doing a day of service. Also, during that day, we had a Spanish lesson for those that didn't speak Spanish. How was that, you guys? Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so good. Good?
The teacher only knew Spanish, not English.
But we had
No, the person who was writing stuff on the board didn't know English. What?
She was writing
English
English.
from the dictionary.
But it was great for
Yeah, she's
everybody
writing
who
stuff.
didn't know Spanish beforehand. So at least as we started the retreat and we're interacting with the community and the people. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so hot. It's hot here. Is it hot here?
Yeah.
Thank you. At least then people had a little bit more Spanish in their background. Then day 3, what did we do? Day 3.
What did we do?
Yeah, we did
Isla de Plata. So we went to this natural reserve, and this was really fascinating. It's a natural reserve. It's a conservation project as well. We took yeah. And on the way there, we saw sea turtles. When we got there, we saw 4 or 5 different types of birds. One type of bird that's only there on the island. They're blue-footed boobies. Okay, you guys who said boobies. Boobies!
Giggles.
We've laughed too much to that.
I know. Blue-footed boobies. We saw the red-footed boobies. We saw frigates. What?
The Nazca were the ones that were endemic to the island.
Endemic, yeah, only the Nazca ones. Anybody want to talk about the experience on the island and doing the 3-hour hike? Come on. Charlotte and Dylan, why don't you guys talk about the experience there?
Our feet hurt. Yeah, Dylan. Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, our feet hurt.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah, it was a quite hot day, but it was a pretty interesting walk. We had a guide who explained a lot of things to us about the endemic species and the ecosystem over there, and we also had a little anatomy session because I'm a vet student and I found some birds. I forgot the word.
Bones.
Yeah, some bird bones and. It was learning by doing this day.
Always.
Yeah. The views were really nice too. You'd get up to the top of the ridges and you'd be able to see down into the, I don't know, like the valley sort of, the cliffs.
Yeah.
Talk about the conservation effort
Yeah.
and what you saw in regards to that.
Yeah, what about the cycle of life and allowing some of the birds
to die?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, if there are problems over there with some bird, with maybe a baby bird which lost his parents or whatever, or birds with broken wings, normally they just leave them there on the island to, I mean, it's a stable ecosystem and it should stay such a one without any human influence. But I didn't really understand.
If it's an adult and it's injured, then they bring it to help it because it's already part of it and
part of the system.
Yeah.
But the birds
they
do
don't
break.
do anything with the baby. Like if they die like when they're like 2 months, 3 months, just
It's part of the system.
Yeah, it's part of it.
It is.
The circle of life.
Yeah.
It's the circle of life. Really
Which is kind of interesting. And how would that compare to what we saw at the aquarium that was so run down, the rescue center?
We actually saw some of them there.
Yeah.
With broken wings.
Some boobies. With broken wings. And what else did they have? They had an alligator.
They had a one-eyed seal.
A one-eyed seal and a lot of turtles which were hit by a boat or injured. And
some fishes that they can't eat. Like
fishes from the fisherman. With
pufferfish.
We've seen a pufferfish.
And this is all in a very, very small place.
It's a tiny
Everybody
place.
had a
It's
really
on the
small
beach.
It's so underfunded.
enclosures. were really small.
Underfunded. And it looked like it was like in children's pools, like the pools that you put in the backyard.
And I think this place is, it could need a lot of help, but the people who were working there did a great job. We had a guide which was only 8 years old,
Nine.
or
He was amazing.
9
He
years,
was
and he was
awesome.
So knowledgeable.
talking like a waterfall.
He knew all about it, all the animals.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
So fun.
Okay, I'm going to jump back in. Instead of from this point out, I want to ask you guys something about stepping outside of your comfort zone. This tends to be a huge learning experience for us, and as we've done these retreats over the years, we've noticed that the greatest growth happens when you're, I hate to say it, most uncomfortable. It's hot, I'm sweating, we've got mosquito bites, we are doing a lot of walking, we're drinking a lot of water, we're staying hydrated moms out there. But it's not easy. This is not luxury, right? We're not in luxury. We're
I beg to differ.
Come on, talk. I give you the floor, Wiley. Actually, I'm going to scoot back over. Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Getting out of your comfort zone is definitely really important, and it really is, unfortunately, conducive to better learning. This year has been decently tame. I mean, last year we had to like kill and eat guinea pigs, so that was definitely a step out of my comfort zone. I don't know. This year we've done surfing, and I know for a lot of people, including me, it was the first time surfing. So while that isn't too bizarre, it's definitely a leap outside of the comfort zones of some people. Also, the amount of hiking we've done, I know that was new to some people too, and it is really a lot of work, but it's always worth it to be able to see the environment and the animals, the flora and fauna, and that sort of thing.
And to finish what we set out to do.
Definitely, yeah.
Anybody else want to talk about comfort zone issues? Yeah, pop in, Oliver.
Oh yeah, I'll go next.
Okay.
I think for me at least, it was sort of overcoming the language barrier, and it was really interesting because I was talking to a local man just about his life, and I know a very basic amount of Spanish, and he knew a very, very basic amount of English, like, so we're essentially equal. And it was a little out of my comfort zone, because usually you don't ever really have to run into this problem in states or, you know, in your country. But it was a really interesting experience.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you, Oliver. Katie, pop in.
So I agree. I'm not a very good Spanish speaker, but that's definitely been a big learning experience for me, getting better at my Spanish and trying to communicate with people and accidentally paying them way too much money for a necklace.
Oh, oops.
Learning experience. Okay. Okay, but another thing on a much more literal sense is learning to wear pants at night because you end up with like 50 mosquito bites. That was learning from a painful experience.
This is why I'm wearing a sweater, but it's so hot. But we're all covered because it's hot. This is why I'm probably hotter than the guys in just t-shirts. But I don't want to be eaten alive by mosquitoes. You want to show your legs? Just show the bottom part of your leg.
How do I?
Here,
not that flexible. So I have like 50 trillion bites. If you can see them, they're all over my feet.
But you have very nice sandals.
But she's
I have beautiful sandals. But I have at least 20 on each foot. It's crazy and very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Anybody else want to talk about comfort zone? Jarek, you want to come up and talk about it?
I'm comfortable because I know these people now.
Yeah, but how was it? I'm going to ask this to the group. Okay. How was it creating a community with, I mean, not everybody knew each other. We had our meetings online beforehand, but once we all got together, how was it? Once we all came together, did it feel like an instant community, or was everybody still a little, you know, cautious and so forth?
Team building helped.
Team building helped.
Yeah,
So,
it did. That was
basically, I already knew Miro, Dylan, Oliver, and Ian before we came here through Skype. And I met Katie and David in the airport in Miami. I don't know, there was really never any hesitation. We kind of saw each other and we were like, oh, and then went and got dinner. Then we saw David, but we didn't really remember what he looked like. So we were just kind of standing around there like idiots. I'm like, is that him?
I had to inch up.
Yeah, then Ian just inched up to him and was like, are you David? But then the five of us got together, and I don't think it was really cold at all. I think we really just hit it off, which was really cool. We didn't meet Jarek till we got to Ecuador in the airport, and we were already like fine by the time we got there. So adding one person didn't really like kill the group. And I think that sounded bad, but I think everyone really came together really well. I don't think we ever really had a problem.
What about team building and some of the like story games that we did?
The team building really helped too, to break the ice more and kind of get a sense of everyone's like sense of humor, which is always really important to do.
Not to forget werewolf playing.
Yeah. Yeah, pop on up. Thanks, Wiley.
I was the only girl participant, like Charlotte Ross and Laura and Lainey, but I was the only girl signed up to participate in the program, so I was super scared, like, because I'm a Girl Scout, so most of my adventures are with other girls, so it's new for me. And the moment that I saw everyone at the airport, I was like, oh, yes, yes. And then we all got dinner, and that was good. And then we found David eventually, and it was nice. But everyone's great, and it's comfortable, and it's good, and we made a really great, safe, and happy community.
Yeah. Anybody else want to add? Pop in.
As one of the people who's entirely new to this and the group, and like coming in as a complete stranger, like in the one video conference that we had before coming onto this trip, when you sort of see people and you sort of judge them by what they say during that sort of first video conference impression, and seeing them, where they're from and stuff, you build these perceptions of them, and then after finally meeting them in person and having those perceptions shattered, and the perceptions about yourself also being shattered, it peels back all the sort of convoluted thoughts that you could have created for yourself, and you see them for who they are. And I think that everyone here is very well-rounded and like intense individual in a sense, because everybody here is fantastic at being themselves, and I feel like that's a really important when creating a community, especially a community of equals, of peers, and yeah.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah, this guy, when we did our initial video call, this guy only said like 2 or 3 words. So I think everyone just kind of thought he was like a really quiet.
Yeah, that's what we said. He's the quiet one, but he's not.
Literally the loudest.
We wrote, pop on up. I want you to talk about support and about supporting each other and as learners.
Right. Well, some of these days have been somewhat strenuous, and there have been days where we needed to support each other. And I feel like that really hasn't been a problem just because of how comfortable we all are around each other. Like, we are all basically relying on each other all of these days because we spend the entire day 24/7 with each other. And I don't think it's a problem at all. I think, in fact, it's the solution.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's awesome. Oh, it does. When it gets profound.
Not everything is such a quick menu.
Yeah. I want to shift gears a little bit. I want to ask this group if they could share what they think the biggest takeaway is going to be. And before I go hand the floor back to them, I want to say that we have 2 more days that are probably the most academic out of all of the days that we've had scheduled. We're assisting the main scientist of the Pacific Whale Foundation with their investigation. So tomorrow we'll be in their foundation office, and we're actually building a whale. They were donated the remains, the bones of a whale, and so as a team we're putting together, the bones to create a model that they can use for educational purposes in the future. But we're also learning all about their investigation and their scientific work. The next day after that, the second day that we're spending with them, is going to be on the boat actually spotting whales and helping them identify and tag them as they start their migration from the north down through the south. So it's the beginning of the season, and so we'll be a part of that scientific team. But so those are the 2 days that we have coming up that really contain the most amount of quote unquote hard academics, even though everything else that we've been doing is experiential, and it builds upon, one day builds upon the next, and it becomes a body of knowledge that we've gained together. But I want to ask this group again, what do you think the biggest takeaway is going to be for you, for each person? And why don't we start with Miro?
Well, I mean, we've done so many different things at this point. But I don't know. I think really just seeing the way that people live in a foreign country, it's something unlike you've ever seen before if you haven't traveled much. Yeah. And for some people, it can be a very new experience. So I think that's going to be one of the largest takeaways.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, yeah. Even I mean, I live here, and it's still a huge takeaway for me.
Right. Awesome. Wiley, pop in.
I don't have anything ready to say yet. I don't know. But if I were to say something, it would be the same thing as Miro. I really love travel, and I think it broadens the mind. And I think it's really important to kind of get a perspective on each country to visit. Ecuador is definitely very different, considering I've been to Peru, and it's like the neighbor. I don't know, it's so different. There's so much more of the country has degraded so much, but it's still a very interesting place to be. So I think my takeaway will be something around them from the inside instead of just being an observer.
Awesome. Dill pickle?
So I guess that's my nickname.
You guess?
Yeah. My nickname that I was given to.
You're welcome. Show yourself.
The culprit. I think the whale days will be really fun, actually. Yeah. Or I hope they will be. We'll see tomorrow, I guess.
For sure.
I think, yeah, I really like marine biology and pretty much everything to do with the ocean. So this whole retreat is just amazing for me. I think I'll take away the most from all of it.
Yeah.
All of it is.
Yeah, you're passionate about the ocean. Yeah. That's incredible. And you're a surfer, too. You were the only one who was a surfer beforehand. And you live in Hawaii.
Yep. Yeah. Live in the middle of the ocean. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Who wants to pop in next? Pop in.
Lack of trout.
Lack of trout, yeah. California.
There's no trout in Hawaii.
I think my big takeaway, well,
like every day.
I think everything is going to be I'm going to take away something from it. But I think my two big ones are going to be just interacting with the locals. One in particular, the man who owns where we're staying, and working with the children at the school was very unique, and I think everyone should try it one day, just volunteering, even at a local school, because it's a unique experience watching others sort of develop in front of your eyes, even more so when it's in a foreign country.
Yeah.
Run down.
David, you want to talk about getting tackled by a group of 6-year-olds?
Long story short, we were playing keep away with the ball, and I got zombie style swarmed by a bunch of 6-year-olds. It was something. But I'd say for me the biggest takeaway was just the experience as a whole. Like, I can't select one thing in specific, because learning about the culture, learning about the environment, and just everything about this retreat has been so profound and eye-opening, because as someone who hasn't even moved from the same street for his entire life, coming out and seeing the world for what it is and how different it can be in another place is just, it's overwhelming. But in an overwhelming situation, you just take in so much more and you learn so much more, and it's an overall much deeper experience.
Awesome. So awesome. Charlotte?
Yeah, it's impossible to pick
anything.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
so amazing.
For
Everything
me,
about travel.
it's probably simply one word, which is positivity. Yeah, we had this one team building game in the beginning, which was about saying no to somebody else, then yes but, and then yes and. And I feel like here everything is just yes and this creates such a perfect atmosphere for learning and for feeling comfortable. And yeah, it's positivity.
Aww. Ian? La 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 la.
I have a few things. Just trying to think of what to start with first. Okay, I got it. So something that has definitely changed for me, this is probably the biggest perspective change for me, is actually breaking the language barrier. And I don't know much Spanish. I know barely any Spanish. But just getting just a simple taste of Spanish, just knowing someone else's thought really changes your perspective. And even body language too, because I've communicated with lots of locals through body language. It changes your perspective, because once you hear someone speaking a foreign language and you don't know what they're saying, you somehow go under the impression that how it comes out in language affects who they are, and that's not true whatsoever. We all speak the same language. We all have the same thoughts. It just comes out differently. That's definitely been
different words, different sounds.
Yeah, different sounds, different words, but it doesn't affect who you are whatsoever. And yeah, that's definitely
awesome.
There's going to be more though, because it's not over yet.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's more.
But wait.
I don't want to block people.
No, you're good.
My biggest takeaway was definitely the day with the kids. Oh my goodness, working at this or volunteering at the school and then the after school program was just so heartwarming to me. And I already like kids, but this was even more. And it was that day that I decided, okay, I'm going to take a gap year and I am going to go volunteer. Oh yeah, and I'm going to go volunteer, and nobody can stop me. So these schools better be ready. So that's the biggest one. Also, I realized how much I love being outside. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff.
Jarek, do you want to add anything?
What's the question again?
Oh, what do you think your biggest takeaway is going to be?
Remembering how much I love the ocean.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I've learned I like photography now too.
Oh, that's so cool.
Seriously, yeah.
Corinne, do you want to add something?
Really awesome.
Yeah.
My best friend said there was a major.
So my biggest takeaway on these retreats, now since I've done already 2 before.
3.
2 before. So
3. The family retreat.
Yeah, but that's a different one.
Yeah. Sorry.
So yeah, on this one, I'll take away I'm a biologist. I was a biologist, so I'm interested in whatever's the marine biology aspect, and I was the snorkeling for me was really nice. I spent some hours just floating in the water, trying to spot some fish and stuff. And what I really like also is meeting all those amazing people. Because obviously I'm formally trained. I don't know, I've been to school and university and never knew about homeschooling or unschooling because it's not really popular in France. It may even be illegal for unschooling. So I didn't know much about that aspect before I met Lenny and Miro, and it's really eye-opening. And each time it's new retreat, I meet new people, and they're all génial.
Wonderful.
What was the most? What is the answer? What is your answer for this question?
My answer. What do I think the biggest takeaway is going to be? Oh boy, I think for me the biggest takeaway with this group is getting to know each one of these guys. Such an incredible group of people, they're playing in the water. I'm playing with them, but I can sit back on the beach and just giggle watching this group. Just love being together. And there's such a power in play when it comes to learning. And I'm learning every day. And these guys are my teachers. It doesn't matter that I'm in my 40s. These guys are my teachers. And I love that. So thank you. Close up the show in about 5 minutes or so. But one of the things that we do every single day that's completely a part of our culture here is we ask everybody what worked that day. So I'm gonna ask this group now, what worked today? Today. Yeah, we were in Los Frailes. What worked for you guys?
Finding the beach in the end.
Finding the beach.
Fun.
We had a tremendous hike. We
Hike was fun. David helping me climb that rock face.
Oh yeah,
Climb rocks better. Climb rocks.
I didn't learn.
We also we got lost, so we had to negotiate with the team who was leading, who was following, who was making the decisions, and there was no argument. We just went one way, and even though there was information that maybe we should go another way, we went another way. And in the end, it was just we just laughed because we were just basically across the way from where we meant to be, and we did this whole circle about. But I think it worked. I think it allowed us to experience a stressful situation, and it allowed us to experience kind of the day unfolding as it did. And then the next question we always ask, anybody else have anything to add to what worked today?
The water was nice.
The water was
The sandwiches were awesome.
Yeah. So worth it. Yeah, it was worth the hype.
And the next question is, what didn't work today?
Trying to find a 50-cent coin and you only have
I have not been able to come up with a solid thing that hasn't worked, except for just things that we joke about. Everything's been
It's
awesome.
always been great, honestly.
Yeah, everything's been awesome. There's nothing really.
Does everybody want to pull a card and answer it on the
Sure,
video?
let's do it.
Let's do it. So the last thing we do in our circle to close out the day is we have a stack of cards in here, and they all have a question, as you saw earlier, and hopefully nobody gets the obscene one.
only one. There are others that could be.
There's only one really dumb one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dumb ones. Never mind.
The cards. Hey, be
What
careful.
is
I made these cards.
What is compassion?
Okay.
Just describe the word.
Sure. What is
Or
compassion? What is it to you? To you.
Whatever something important is to you, it's your compassion. Whatever you're passionate for.
Passionate for, and sharing it with somebody else.
Yeah. Sharing whatever knowledge you have on that subject.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Dylan.
Okay, I guess I'll go next.
Oh, this is a wall of text.
In your opinion, is it ever okay to judge another person? If yes, give examples. And I am not a very judgmental person, so I'm going to say no on my behalf. And that's really the end of my answer.
Awesome. Wiley, why don't you pop it?
Okay. So I got the card. What was your own unique expertise expressed today? That's the only real thing I can think of is when I brought the duck in earlier in the show. Because that duck is really vicious. It attacks everyone, and I'm honestly the only person so far who has been able to consistently track it down and pick it up. So I guess I would say it's that.
Yep.
And you're good at body surfing, yeah.
Good at getting thrashed and
Thrashed against the sand and feeling
veterans.
Who wants to pop up next?
Dylan was first.
What? Pay attention, Oliver.
Oh
my God.
Okay. Mine was, what was today's biggest gift? I'm going to say it's a two-part one. The one was just just hang out with everyone, just having fun on the beach. And 2 was when we were on this beach, and there were very, very big waves. Like maybe, I think the largest one we saw was maybe 3 meters, like 9-10 feet big, very big waves. And we were playing this sort of game where we would stand in front of them and try not to get like blown away, which didn't really work. And getting like blown like 5 feet into a beach. Yeah. And getting blown 5 feet into the beach is a gift, because it shows you that like it's interesting.
You just
yeah,
take control.
Yeah.
And we're
And ocean's gonna kick your ass every time.
Powerful nature is, and how we should respect it.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you, Oliver. Who wants to pop in?
Yeah, just going over.
Whoa.
I apologize for how long-winded this is, but I didn't write these. So my question was...
I did.
2-part question. When I was 8 years old or younger and used to play without a care in the world, how did I feel? And what do I do, or in some cases can do, in my life now to experience the same feeling? Well, personally, I think I've been 8 for about, like, 10 years now. I also can't do math when I'm retired. Well, what I'm trying to say is, like, I've always had a sort of child at heart mentality, and like I think, like, in my own perspective, I always see the world through a child's eyes. Everything's new, everything's wonderful, and it's a nice way to see things.
Yeah. Awesome. Great answer.
Stop it, Miro.
You gotta make him giggle on camera as much as he can.
Yes, Ian. Pop in.
Based on my experiences today, what am I inspired to do when I return back home? Today, specifically, something that has inspired me to do when I return back home is drink a lot more water. Because when I'm in Massachusetts, I'm kind of a homebody, and since I've been to Ecuador, I've rediscovered what it's like to be alive again. So I think I'll be drinking a lot more water. Also, since I've gotten here, I've decided I'm going a month nocturnal when I get back.
Never waking up ever again.
Awesome. Cool. Who wants to pop up next?
Charlotte has a kitten on her lap. She can't really get up. My card asks, at what point today did I overcome language barriers through nonverbal communication in order to express myself? Nothing so really today, but yesterday. Oh my goodness. I don't speak very good Spanish, and he didn't remember my face, and so it was this whole mess of like, pay me. No, I already paid you. No, pay me. And I'm like, ah! And so then I came and tried to find people, but then there was a whole struggle, and then in the end we like through hand motions figured it out, and it was good. And then I got my laundry. I'm still missing a pair of socks,
Or he just gave
okay.
All right, who's next?
The kitten is next. Okay, kitten. Kitten, read the question. Well, okay, no, she doesn't want to. How did you quiet or overcome your own self-critical voice today? To be honest, it's happening right now, right here. I really hate to be in front of cameras, and yeah, I just think, what the fuck? Just do it. It's happening.
Thanks, Charlotte. It's happening. And Jared.
If a movie were made about today's experience, who would play you and why? Second day.
You got this card.
Yeah, 2 in a row. Castaway. Main actor. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Tom Hanks. I'm done.
And Lorenz. Lorenz, you want to go?
Yeah. Castaway. That's actually pretty good.
Name one thing you discovered that you were really good at today. Just maybe having fun. Stuff.
Yeah,
that was
awesome.
pretty good.
I'm gonna get up. Don't I'm gonna get up.
Okay, I'm not gonna fall over.
Okay, don't fall over.
We're on like a weirdly weighted bench.
Yeah, so I had to tell him that I'm getting up. So I've got the last card, and this is the perfect card to end this show. So I'm really grateful for those of what we do in the Project World School retreats, especially this one. This is such a great group. I'm so blessed. My question is, share one magical moment you experienced today.
It's not a question.
I'm experiencing it. It is. That's my question.
Yeah, that's a question.
That's not a question.
Share. Oh, it's okay. It's not a question. I'm experiencing that magical moment. These guys are my biggest gift, and they're my teachers. And thank you everybody for joining us for the Love of Learning. We'll be back live next week with the panel as usual. But for now, thank you for being a part of this really, really special show with us. Thank you. We're out.
If you really had to make a difference on a large scale with minimal resources, how would you go about it? Have you ever dared to dream of doing that which seems impossible? On a planet steeped with corruption and destruction, the question beckons, how do we change it? Media has a far-reaching impact on people and has been used to manipulate humanity into our current destructive patterns. In order to affect people into moving into constructive patterns of behavior, we need to construct a new paradigm of media. Conscious Consumer Network has been created with the explicit intention of giving the amazing truth-seeking, solutions-orientated, alternative media a place to fully realize their true potential, with a cutting-edge, high-tech professional media platform being made available to use at no cost to the broadcaster. In turn, some of the greatest freedom-seeking hearts and souls of our time have realized the true potential of what has been created and have come together to provide their insight and inspiration on CCN. Conscious Consumer Network has become a unique, interactive information and educational network which provides a free-to-view, live-stream, ultra-high-definition channel to the world and features 25 live shows a week and growing with the addition of multiple language broadcasts. CCN has features comparable with mainstream media, such as being able to pause and rewind broadcasts whilst being live streamed. Catch up on this or previous broadcasts, now available from CCN High Definition Downloads. You can now purchase a high definition download of your favorite CCN show from ethymarket.com. Support free and independent media by becoming a monthly pledger. This can be done with a monthly pledge of €10, which will allow you unlimited access to CCN's high-definition downloads, which hosts a back catalogue of over 250 shows, which have been aired since the launch of CCN on the 1st of January 2015. In order to keep CCN free of corporate sponsorship and advertising, CCN has launched the Pledge 300 campaign. This is a realistic goal with the hopes of securing a minimum of 300 people who will each pledge €10 a month. With this number, we can continue to grow and operate and potentially expand into a second foreign language channel. Without it, CCN will simply not be able to function without succumbing to corporate sponsorship and advertising. Help keep alternative media in the hands of the people. We thank you for supporting free and independent media.